This is performance art. If you don't think so, suck my Grammy.
Yeah. Now, Cam, you started doing kind of like open mic spoken word poetry.
Correct.
Really trying to work.
I read memos from business meetings.
Yeah, but you do it very like artistically, almost like a beat poet.
There is art to it, and if anyone begs to differ, I'm more than happy to give a prime example. Outgoing process summary, including current campaigns, number of touches, reply rate, new meetings scheduled, and inbound process summary. This is art.
This is art, people. You better start paying attention because this is art.
What's up?
Kick it. Kick it.
Continuing
Tonight on Two C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your...
Two C's in a pod, 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 two C's just like two C's in a pod, two C's because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.
See, I was a little bit down. We kept on the down the last time. Some listeners, they come back to me, they go, Cam, it's fucking 6 a.m. I don't need to have someone scream kick it.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't have, don't have to do a Beastie Boys style kick it every single time. Also, your voice, it pops right up there. It gets shrill sometimes.
Oh, I am an artist. So.
You're an artist.
Some of the best ones do crack when they're at those high pitches.
Yeah, no, that makes a good point. You're an artist. I'm not going to stop your artistic process, but we've kicked it. You're listening to Two C's in a Pod. Of course, this podcast, it's Monday morning. Hope y'all are loving it. My name is Cameron Osborne. I'm sitting across from my buddy Cam LeClaire, and this is episode 67 of the podcast. The podcast that just keeps growing. We just hit our 1,000th download mark.
Hey,
big, which is a big milestone. I want to thank all the fans, all the listeners at
home.
Thank you for kind of getting us there, Cam. I don't know what the math is on that.
Think about the amount of time someone has heard us spit shenanigans. 1,000 times 60. We're looking at 60,000 million minutes of people listening to us because obviously everyone listens to it multiple times.
Don't lump me into that bracket.
I'm the only artist here. So.
Oh, right. You're the only artist.
So. Artiste.
Right. Well, Cam, that's great because we got a great show coming up.
Big show.
Full of normal week style things.
Week style things.
We got
that's
games.
What we do. We get over the Sunday scaries and we come into our Mondays. What do you call it? Make it happen Mondays. We got our Sunday scaries. Make it happen Mondays. Terrible Tuesdays, over the hump Wednesdays, almost Friday Thursdays, time to get drunk Fridays. Saturday I'm hungover, but I'll make it happen at nighttime Saturdays. Sunday scalies. That's the week.
That's the whole week. That is the whole week for all of those living in second and third year university. Cam, I think when you're an adult, what I've come to learn about the Sunday scaries is that you lose it when you're an adult. Because
I think Mondays, like this Monday for me, wasn't feeling it. You start off, you don't like what you're doing. You're 4 hours into it. You go, why did I choose this as a career path? And then Tuesday rolls around. You're like, oh, okay, it's really not that bad. I guess I can live like this forever until I retire. Then hopefully I'll have fun in my life. That's the corporate world, people.
Yeah, you should be dreading Monday. You shouldn't be dreading Sunday. And also, if you wake up hungover on Sunday, that should be normal.
If you don't, it makes it really good, though. If you just get to bed at a reasonable hour on Saturday, because I found that often on a Saturday night, I'll push it like an extra 2 or 3 hours, and I don't really get much from those 2 or 3 hours, but I lose so much of my next day from it. So I'm starting to dial it back a little bit. Get to bed for like 11 o'clock on Saturday. You wake up fresh as a
Georgia peach.
Spring Georgia peach. There we go. I was gonna say a spring cucumber, but I don't think they grow.
I don't think spring is often associated with cucumbers.
There you go. And then you take the dog to the dog park. You have a good breakfast. You maybe watch a little bit of Knight Rider. Maybe you watch a little Ink Master on YouTube, and then just sit there for a while. Have a coffee. Have a good breakfast. Get out to the park, and the next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock, and you feel like you've already accomplished the world.
One thing I love about watching Ink Master for free on YouTube is you get to. I kind of like calling when Oliver. What is it?
Oliver Peck.
Oliver Peck is talking, but they've edited him out.
Not if you watch the full episode.
That's my okay. Yeah, he is on some of the clips, but if you watch like the recently uploaded Ink Masters, you can hear his voice, but you can't see
but they will
him
not show him
speak it, which I guess is okay. I guess you know.
Do you know why though?
Yes, it's because he did blackface way after it was like you were able to kind of apologize for it. It was like 4 years ago.
Different time, man. Obama was damn it.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a photo taken from 1984, not saying it excuses behavior, but the social climate was different. No, but this thing was from like this thing was from recent, very recent. So, we take out his face, but not the voice.
Well, they've had to take out more people's faces. If you watch the contestants, like if you just Google them, you end up finding 2 or 3 of them. Their first shot is a mug shot, and it's like, well, that's interesting. This isn't artwork. Some may beg to differ, but you'll read up on them like assault, battery, 4 pounds of meth in their trunk.
I thought tattoo artists were the most reputable of characters out there. Are you telling me that that men and women with tattoos covering 96% of their body aren't role models?
I mean, a role model is just someone you put in your mind, right?
I guess so. I also saw one the other day, actually. There's a new movie coming out on Netflix, a zombie flick.
Nice.
By Zack Snyder. It's got Dave Bautista in it.
Zack Snyder, he did something.
Yeah, he's done.
He did Avengers.
Nope.
Superhero.
Yep.
Captain America.
Nope.
Did the Grinch.
Nope.
The Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2.
Yeah, it was
Grinch steals Christmas again.
Grinchier.
Oh my god, he can't steal it again. Oh my god, we need to get better security. The Grinch Stole Christmas 3. Nope. Still not there. Shrek 2.
I mean, there's no point in me even finishing the story at this point.
I want to hear it.
I don't think you do. You just spend
45
seconds saying obviously the wrong answer.
Well, sometimes you give me terrible recommendations. The last one you gave me was, hey, Cam, I think you should watch this Quentin Tarantino movie that is half a heist movie and half a vampire movie. And I'll tell you what, Cam, I liked it. So when you give me a movie recommendation, it holds a little weight.
That's a good point. It was a Robert Rodriguez film, but we'll look past that anyways. Cam, no, but this was it hasn't even come out yet. But the deal is that D'Elia was in the movie.
Wait, Christopher or Chris?
Chris, not
we did
find the distinction. Time. We're not talking about Christopher D'Elia, the comedy producer. No, we're talking about Chris D'Elia, the guy with the amazing podcast. So they finished the movie with him, then reshoot all of his scenes with an actress. They actually just gender bended the character. I mean, the character's gender was not important in the first place. So they spent.
Is it ever, Cam? Is it ever?
Romeo and Juliet.
I would say yes.
I would say it's important. Yes. We do need we do need 2 star-crossed lovers in Fair Verona. So I think in that kind of specific instance. So they spent tens of millions of dollars. Hundreds of hours. I think it was 2.5 weeks of reshooting. Just
what a pain in the ass that must be.
With a combination of digitally replacing the character in certain scenes, so wouldn't have to replace it. But anytime that character had an interaction on screen with another character, they had to bring that actor back into the scene to reshoot it with the new
Right.
performer.
Imagine if you were an actor that like lost like 80 pounds for the role, like you were dead shit skinny, and then you finish the scene, you're like, finally I can, like The Machinist, whatever, who did that one? Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this guy. This guy knows movies. If you're gonna take one thing from this podcast, there's one guy that knows movies, and there's one guy that pumps a lot of fluff. Says he knows who the Zack Snyder guy is. Says he's watched Shrek 2 more than once. Okay, you're not a movie fanatic. I know The Machinist was done by Christopher Bale, and he also did Batman.
Christopher Bale, yeah, of course. As we all know, the forgotten kind of like little twin brother of Christian Bale.
Same.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that sucks for those people. But I guess if you cost that much money, it probably wasn't good.
No, that's great. I think that's great for everybody involved.
Oh, just double up in the pay. Yeah, good point. Except for movie producers.
Everyone involved was kind of paid a second salary. It proved that a studio is willing to do whatever it takes to kind of recast somebody that they really don't want to be seen in their picture. It happens. It happened with something else when Spacey got Spacey'd. Remember when Kevin Spacey was gay 4 years ago?
For about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and it seemed very coincidental with after he got alleged with touching little guys.
But it's okay because he was gay, and there was a movie that was coming out, and they took him out of the movie. They reshot the entire thing with a new performer in it, just to
Was he the star too?
Like co-star. It was kind of
right when Spacey got Spacey.
But yeah, it's nice.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, I think it's.
I should know. What it was?
You throw out wild accusations in a way that I would love if you followed up on it. Like if
that's the beauty of arguing. Don't follow up on your arguments. Blow past them.
But asking if they're
plowing ahead here.
That's not like you're asking a question. I would love if you threw out a wild accusation and then just answered your own question. Because what you'll do, you will throw out one sentence.
Correct.
And then expect me to just do all the legwork. Like I would love it if you in your mind already had like bang 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 bang. Now it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be making stuff up,
I'm gonna dive deep on stuff.
Exactly.
Dive a little deeper.
Exactly. Just keep digging that hole. If you want to talk about Christopher Bale, great. Let's keep give me more Christopher Bale action. Don't just say it.
This is the beauty of us.
Don't just say it once and then I have to do all the actual work making it happen.
It's like Don and Ron. You got one guy who's the smarts and one guy who wears the suit. Did I mix that up? I don't know.
I assume the smart guy would wear the suit. That's what makes him the smart guy.
I think he begged to differ. I know some pretty smart guys that don't wear suits. Speaking of suits, I was in a meeting the other day where I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt thinking that I was going to meet with some engineers who were probably in oil fields. Nope, it was a C-level executive wearing a full suit and I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, so I felt a little bit silly.
Yeah, you got to look good when you are popping up there on camera.
Tighten it up. Now if I'm going to anyone executive level, wearing the white t-shirt with the jacket, look clean.
Yeah, well, even, you're wearing a little kind of like crew neck sweater right now. Even that's appropriate.
This is standard. This is normally I was going a little bit wild with the Hawaiian shirt because it was a nice day in spring. I wasn't expecting to bite me in the ass, but I might have.
It is a beautiful spring day today. I got to tell you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's about an inch of snow outside. And yeah, that's awesome. Love it. Love snow and mid bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Because you just planted all your annuals just last weekend.
See, I was smart about that. I was vividly against planting annuals because you never know what you're going to get.
And you changed your winter tires already. You're already good.
I did that. I did do that. That felt like a mistake this morning when I even had a dream last night that I got drunk and then my dad lent me his truck and then I picked up some hitchhikers and I just put it into the woods, skidded out because I was going too fast because I was angry about something, plowed into someone's house, took it out, cops chased me. Very Knight Rider-esque, and I think that's where the movie the idea came from.
Cam, you're saying this was a dream. I woke up, I have an alarm clock with the news as sort of wake up. I woke up to a fascinating story about somebody driving kind of on Highway 9 in and around Orangeville who picked up a couple day laborers. And the day laborers have not been found.
I didn't get to the end of the story here.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a interesting dream. Made me realize that you should never drive drunk. Not that I ever do, but one of those things.
Not that you ever
also,
have. Not that you ever will.
I don't think I have ever have. No, I don't think I've ever drove past the legal limit.
Or what you would assume, or what you, or when you know that you shouldn't have driven.
I've never gotten in the car and I'm like, I should not be driving right now.
Yeah.
I'm normally full of confidence.
Yeah, you're either like, yeah, you're saying to yourself, like, fuck that guy, obviously I'm driving.
Or like, limits are for fucking first years. I push the limits by day.
Yeah, I mean, the limit's what, 0.8? I mean, you'll be fine.
0.8.
0.08.
0.08. 0.8.
Yeah.
Decimals are a fraction of your imagination.
That's right.
Apparently, I heard that you get caught being not intoxicated but under drugs in a car, you need to have a special identification officer come and confirm it because they have special training on it. And I guess that's just like bureaucracy of unions. So basically, they can stop you in your car and be like, your eyes are, there's only pupil, right? You're twitching. You're twitching. You've touched your nose 15 times. It's snowing and it's July.
And it's just under your nose.
Yeah, it's just under your nose. Insane. I can't confirm, deny, but I got some overwhelming suspicion. Then they take you to the cop shop, and they have to bring in a specialty unit to be like, oh, yeah, he's fucked up. Like, there's a guy whose job is to go like, this boy is lit.
Nah, that could actually be a pretty good job. You work for the police, so you probably have a good salary, good health care benefits. And all you kind of do, they call you in, just like, oh, we got another one. You walk in. Just kind of give them the look down, look if they're fucked up, and then
give him a little head fake, see if he jumps on it. And you're like,
and then your word becomes law.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Well, I mean, I guess ideally, though, like, the real answer would just be don't do hardcore drugs and then drive.
Yeah, I think it all what it made me realize is that if you're gonna get popped for smoking weed and driving, it's gonna be pretty tricky.
If you're gonna get caught.
I think if you're going to get caught, you need to be like so high that you like, for example, we have friends who you can't tell if they're ever high. Their eyes are, generally pretty closed. They don't really have a look of like, you are just spaced. Like maybe if you start talking to them, you're like, even if you start talking to them, you don't really get the impression unless they just blurt out the like, dude, I'm way too high. You're like, I would have never have assumed that. And these are people that I know.
And people that you would never know. Well, my roommate took part. Maybe this is probably coming up on 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, in like a study that was about drugs and driving and drinking and driving and the effects that it has. And it was a few sessions he had to go to it, and it was a driving simulator that he was a part of. And then there was I think he went maybe like 4 times total or something. But either they gave him like 5 shots in an hour and then asked him to do the driving simulator, or they gave him like just water instead, so or like do it sober.
Oh, and that's a placebo. You're like, we're not telling you if we're giving you vodka or water.
It was like a very potent joint, and then a not so potent joint, and then it was how do you react under these circumstances.
The old cocaine laced with marijuana.
Yeah. No, it's probably like a CBD joint or something.
So sorry, was the joint you weren't supposed to know? As in that was the placebo?
Well, I guess you don't know like until it's done.
I would imagine if someone's giving me 1 shot of water, 1 shot of vodka, I'm gonna tell pretty quickly which one's which.
Oh, of course, yeah. They're not trying to like. No, but you.
It's not that we're giving you a saline shot or we're giving you a vaccine.
I think what I meant to
we'll
say.
see which one lasts.
I think what I meant. I think how. No, don't think about it like a placebo. Think about it like you're going into it blind. So there's a cup of clear liquid on the table,
and you're just
and
praying.
they're like
praying.
they're like drink it, and then we'll do
drink,
the simulator.
Drink. There's 5 officers there chanting.
Yeah, they're all chanting for you.
Diplo's playing in the background.
Yeah.
Some girl's doing body shot off another girl, and you're like, this seems great. And then it's a cup of water. Fuck.
Could just be a cup of water, but either way, you have to perform the exercise as it will. So who knows?
So I heard about someone doing that too, and I think they took them on a driving course, like it was a parking lot.
Okay.
And they basically had to do like low risk, low speed, but avoid these pylons, do X, Y, and Z, just to test how it was. I'm just curious how much fun it would be getting drunk for science.
I mean, it's for science, so I think doing anything for science would be fun, actually.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if they, for example, they're like, all right, you're going to be in solitary. Like you sit there, drink, and then there's like, don't fuck around on your phone. Just, I guess they wouldn't really care if you're fucking on your phone or not. But imagine just being like there for like 3 hours. Be like, yeah, you just have to drink quite a bit. That's it. It'd be pretty boring if you were just by yourself.
No,
it would be fun if they gave you like a co-pilot.
No, but that's the thing though. You get paid for it. Give you lunch.
Yes.
No, you pay,
do like a
pay
good
for
lunch.
for a taxi on the way home. It's like
Perfect.
It's fucking luxury.
You're like, I don't need a taxi. I can drive. I just show you idiots I can drive.
Exactly. It would be irresponsible for them to let a drunken person find their way home.
You know what I miss? Speaking of someone paying for taxis, it's Christmas parties with companies where they pay for your taxi.
You miss
chit
getting
because
that chit?
Love the chit. Love loosening up with some people who you've been like, we've been in this work bullshit for a little too long, Tell me your favorite sex fantasy. And they're like, all right.
Okay, let me tell you.
Let me tell you. So last weekend.
Yeah, I love getting to the bottom of all of my coworkers' fetishes.
Yeah, I mean, that's not normally the opener, but it definitely...
It's the second opener.
The second question.
Second question.
Second question is normally there.
Are you having a great night? Is this your date?
Yeah.
What are your biggest sex fantasies?
What have you put in her ass?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's also good. Good third question.
The third question.
Yeah, but those will be fun if those ever come back. I know I'm going to be booking our summer camping trip at a cottage. I think you're on the loop on that one, yeah?
Yeah.
Great. We host all the employees out to a cottage again. It should be good.
It'll be great to really have all of the workers at Two Seas in a Pod really just kind of get together and have an experience.
Yeah, just work for us a little more.
Yeah, just kind of voice any concerns, and it's a bit of a challenge too, right? Because kind of here at headquarters we have internet lines properly run and servers and power, but up at a cottage we don't have any of these things, so our workers kind of need to improvise a little bit, figure out how are we going to make the internet appear. How do I kind of handle the larger business elements?
Right. The large overscaling corporate environment will be deduced to manual labor.
Mm-hmm.
Get those fingers off the keyboard and get those squats going, because we're gonna need some power.
Yeah, we're gonna need some real power. Because we're only using desktop computers over here at Two Seas in a Pod. We're only using Dell computers from your grade 7 classroom. Those are the only ones we're using. The thick black units.
Plus the mouse with the little ball inside of it.
Of course. It's a little bit heavier, but we prefer the durability.
Those are classics.
Oh my God.
Classic stealing those from the computer lab. I don't know why, but you're like, I gotta have the rubber ball.
Just chuck them at each other in class.
Yeah. I don't even know what we did with them, but it was just fun to break apart something and be like, what's inside of it? I don't know. I remember one time I was in a computer lab in high school. I think I was like eating popcorn at a computer, and one of the nerds was like, that is one of the worst foods to eat near a computer. I'm like, fuck off, nerd. You're wearing a cape, a literal cape, like scram. But yeah, apparently you're not supposed to eat popcorn near a computer. because the kernels will get into the keyboard.
Oh, see, that's not even what I think. I would think. I would think anything greasy around something that everybody touches is just no fun for everybody. It's like you're playing video games with your buds, and there's a bag of chips around. That chip grease is going to get on the controller unless you all vehemently lick your fingers.
Everyone loves a good finger lick and then pass the controller.
Exactly. Then just pass the controller around. Just go,
clean it up.
there you go.
Speaking of cleaning your hands with sucking on them, here's one of the grossest things that I think people aren't going to do anymore after the pandemic is there's a bowling alley nearby, which is also a Boston Pizza, where you can order the food to where you're bowling.
Genius.
On first impression, I went there right when the pandemic was starting. This was like it was like a week before shutdown, where everyone's like, I hear it's pretty scary out there. And you're like, yeah, but that's just, that's hogwash. That's the media. And then we went bowling, and I was like, I'm not going to be eating here, like at the bowling. I'll go wash my hands, then eat afterwards. But some people are like, fuck it. Turns out one of the bowlers with us caught COVID next week. First guy I know that caught COVID.
Wow.
Also the last. I know two people.
Early on. Yeah, that Boston Pizza
Yeah,
must have been...
Oh, my God. It was like, once it happened, it was like, oh, this is real. And then it wasn't. And then 13 months later, now it's just a hoax.
Yeah, now it's a hoax. Yeah.
Oh boy. We're not folks at home. We're not climate deniers.
No, I have never denied that there is a climate.
Yes.
There is in fact a climate.
I'm surprised the
it's just not changing.
I'm surprised the conspiracy theory you didn't say was most real was that JFK wasn't shot by one person.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, you really put me on the spot with that one. It's hard to kind of rack your brain for all of the conspiracy theories. Kind of.
The big ones always come to mind, yeah. Where you're like, how many planes hit the towers, right? 6 planes hit the towers. You only saw 2. Or is that the question? Who knows?
Yeah.
Beyond that, is Bigfoot real?
The question is that bombs were placed at the base of the tower causing the explosions. That's the real...
Wait, bongs or bombs?
Bombs.
Oh, I think you said bongs, and that explains all the smoke.
There were a lot of people on. It was a Tuesday, of course, Tuesday morning, and there were a lot of Monday Night Football bets that had to be settled. A lot of people would, bet like, "Hey, if the Steelers lose tonight, you got to go to smoke a big bong at the base of the World Trade Center." Very odd that there were so many bets regarding bongs at the World Trade Center.
The Cincinnati Reds had that game. They fucking blew it in the fourth quarter. I would have never seen it coming.
Well, of course, the Cincinnati Reds blew it in the fourth quarter of Monday Night Football because they're out there and they're going, Joey Votto, this isn't, you don't know what you're doing here. Like, you guys can't bring this. They didn't have the proper equipment to bring onto the field. They weren't allowed to bring, their bats or something like that. And so they just had these much more athletic people just running circles around the entire Cincinnati Reds baseball team.
But I tell you what, once that pitch came in, they were going to hit it every time. The pitch just never came.
The pitch just never came, and actually Pete Rose even bet on the Cincinnati Reds to win that game. He was so sure of his team and his skills, but it never quite happened.
Did Pete? He never really got the clear from the MLB to say that was okay, that he gambled.
Absolutely not. One of the most fabled, kind of sports stories of our time is that he is not allowed into the Hall of Fame.
Is he allowed in a baseball stadium?
Sure. I mean, I guess they'll let him in a baseball stadium. I guess, like, if he wanted to go as a fan.
Imagine they really dropped the ball. Where like, you are banned from any stadium, including the minor leagues.
There's a few good commercials out there of Pete Rose playing into that. I recall one where it was, it was like the Rose family home where no photos of him were allowed in the front hall. Or it was like, it was his wife like not letting him in the front hall, and then the joke was, what do you mean I'm not allowed in the hall? And then it was
classic.
like kind of like, and I've seen other commercials kind of playing on that also, because Pete Rose is pretty much into it now. He's like, yeah, I'm never gonna make it, but I'm one of the best. So
That was like Ben Johnson.
The
remember
Cheetah.
when Cheetah energy drink?
Well, that one.
How much did they have to pay
Now
him
that
for
one
that,
pissed
though?
me off. I think just because I'm Canadian. Because I'm Canadian, like I guess if I was a Cincinnati Reds fan, yeah, the commercials about Pete Rose. But see, at least Pete Rose like had success. Ben Johnson just lied to our fucking faces.
Yeah, but
Pete
I mean,
Rose,
everybody's lying back then.
I mean, Pete Rose had, is he the most hits? Is that his
the most
on
catches?
base, most things?
the highest slugging percentage.
His OBS is
OPS.
through the
Yeah,
roof.
OPS?
OPS
Right.
is just through the
irritable
roof.
bowel syndrome?
Just
IBS?
through the roof.
Yeah. I don't know what his stats would look like, but apparently he was quite the ball player. Him and Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, he has like all of the ones you want for white guys, at least.
Right. Best hair, top mustache.
think he had a mustache.
Biggest forearms. Best butt in a baseball uniform. Best butt in a black baseball uniform. Best butt in a pinstripe baseball uniform. Just the big ones.
Yeah,
the big stats.
Guinness has really been focusing on a lot of baseball specific, but number
Non-stats.
statistics. Yeah, kind of like
more
non-stats.
opinion based.
Because Guinness,
who has the best flow?
Guinness
Things
is
like
back.
this.
Their their latest edition of their thick, hard-covered, multicolored, books. They're back.
They're back. You could probably pull some good stats.
Yeah, there's one on your
that
coffee
aren't really
table
stats.
right behind you, and it's really weighing down your coffee table.
Yeah, one of these days is gonna break.
Yeah,
but
one of
hey,
these is gonna
that's
break.
That's the gamble we take, isn't it?
I guess when you buy something Guinness, Cam, want to play a game?
Let's kick it. See, that was gentle.
That was gentle. That was that was almost subtle, like you weren't trying to hurt the audience. Cam, let's get into it. Let's get into some March Madness.
Let's hit it.
You can't keep
Give it to me.
You can't keep doing it, kicking it,
Give it. Give it to
giving
me.
it.
Give it to me.
Cam, today we are talking about a March Madness using the intricate science of bracketeering.
It's very complex.
The very complex science of bracketeering, along with Cam, what's difficult for you, which is kind of using your noodle. So, Cam, what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be looking at the 4 matchups here, 8 different superheroes, and based on powers and backstory, you're going to have to choose which one's which. Don't worry, I will be kind of surmising both as we go.
Thank you. I'll give a quick summary of what I think they do, and then you can correct
Cam,
me.
we don't have all day. So kicking off our first matchup, we have Spider-Man. Classic Spider-Man, bit by a radioactive spider, and now he has the spider's abilities. He can spin webs out of his things. He can jump from building to building.
There's a hand raised.
Okay, Cam, hand raise.
Is it the Spider-Man that has the innate ability to shoot spiders or the mechanical ability?
Ooh, good one. Mechanical. We're going OG on this one. We are going OG on this one, but of course, you live with your aunt, your parents passed away, and your Uncle Ben is also dead. Next, we have the Flash. The character some people have said is the fastest superhero of all time, can access the speed force, can reverse time, can access multi-dimensional time travel. He never gains any weight because his cells are moving so quickly. His metabolism is so fast. He constantly needs to eat. You got your powers through...
That's true?
Yes, you got your powers through a science experiment gone wrong. However, that science experiment also killed your mother, and your father was blamed for it, and he is serving time in prison.
So we're going based on which one I'd prefer?
Which one you would rather have based on powers and backstory?
Oh, God. See, the funny thing is, I'm definitely a Spider-Man guy through and through. I grew up with the action figure. I had 2 or 3 variations of it. The ones with the flexible elbow, flexible wrist,
As
and
soon as they
flexible
added
shoulder.
flexible elbow technology in toys, really changed the game.
Really changed the game. So that one stuck with me. That, I still think of the Nickelback. And they say that a hero can save us.
Really straining to sing this.
It's called art. So that one like hits home. But now that we're talking about the actual implications of it, I know the Spider-Man story. I know that you have to kill your uncle. You know, it's the old...
That's true. You have to kill your uncle if you're Spider-Man.
In a way, it's the old trolley problem, right? Anyway, so you got the trolley problem on one end. I don't know anything about what the Flash had to deal with. Doesn't sound that bad, but it sounds pretty great with the consistent metabolism, constantly to eat. Problem with that is just, you know, sourcing that much food and having to eat all day. I've tried to put on weight. It's tricky. It's tricky when you're just trying to shove food down your face. But being able to travel interdimensionally, time, space, and to different continents quick, that sounds like a perk in my book. Flash.
So we are going with the Flash. Moving on to the second round. Next up in our first round matchup, we have Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, classic. You were an experiment where they coated metal alloy over all of your bones. You have these little things that come out of your fingers. However, your powers would still be constant regeneration. Anytime you get a cut, a bullet hole, it will just kind of mend itself back up, and that comes with it an extended life, and then just general super strength. Right?
Okay.
And
this is what's the downsides here?
You will outlive every single person you've ever loved.
I'll make new loves.
Possibly twice over.
No problem. 3 loves.
Or maybe even 3-4 times over. And you will be taking on Captain America, the super soldier, an experiment from World War II where you were injected with a super serum giving you super strength, super speed, beyond world intelligence, and longevity. Again, you will be living longer than all of those who you have ever loved. But some have said the ultimate good.
Now, question about Captain America. Where do I lie in the political spectrum, considering I'm American?
Well...
Far left, far right, because this is a big game changer. I don't want to be part of this. Am I center? Do I not engage in politics?
I don't know.
You know, do I go to the Trump rallies?
I wouldn't say so. No. I don't think so. I mean, I guess you can choose to lean on whichever political party you want, whether it is kind of mongering hate or not. That's really up to you. Because
Gotcha.
I mean, like with any of these powers, you can just be a bad guy. You know, so this is coming down to you, Cam. Like, do you want to use your Captain America powers to, like, subjugate and destroy millions of lives? Or do you want to, kind of do some good?
Now, I think inherently Wolverine does have quite a bit of anger issues, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm more, not so much opposed to letting your anger out and hurting the ones you love. It's rather keeping it in, keeping silent for several days while people question if you still have your sanity. So, let's say I can change that perspective, being able to outlive everybody you ever loved, but being super strong, probably bench press at least 5 plates, because you're never going to break anything. It's got to be the Wolf.
It's got to be the Wolf, man. Wolverine, moving on in the second round. Next up in our second round matchup. Or first round matchup, sorry. We have the Incredible Hulk. A mild-mannered scientist of beyond average intelligence, one would say even a genius, is exposed to gamma rays, turning him into the Incredible Hulk. However, it's only when he's mad. We're going to go with the kind of like unlimited size potential Hulk, whereas the madder you get, the larger you are.
Nice.
They sort of hit a base level of angry and mad that turns you into the Hulk, but the angrier you are, the larger you will become. Taking on Bruce Wayne, Batman. You left the Mask of Zorro as a child because you were scared of the movie. When your parents took you out, they were gunned down by some thugs. You spent the rest of your life training, acquiring the skills and technology possible to rid Gotham of all the crime. However, the biggest question remains, are the bad guys there to take you down, or are you there because they're bad guys? We'll never know.
Wow, what a complex dilemma. Another trolley problem. So the nice thing about Batman here is that you could just choose to live a normal life and you can get angry, right? the Hulk, as much as I admire being the largest mass possible, right? Going to the beach and just looking like a,
Like you want to talk
a green
5 plates.
smoke show
You could be curling 5 plates if you're the Incredible Hulk.
with one arm. Yeah, so that's like such an incredible feat. But the fact that it's only available when you're batshit angry, that really kills it for me. So I'm gonna have to choose the Bat guy.
Batman. I mean, your parents are dead, but hey, at least you don't rip through your clothes all the time.
Yeah, because that's expensive.
That is expensive. Coming up next, we have Matthew Murdock, the Daredevil. As a young boy, you were involved in a car accident where a vat of acid was poured over your eyes, blinding you. However, it heightened all of your other senses. You spend most of your nights traveling by rooftop, using the power of sonar. Almost, you can hear the way the buildings sound. You can see you kind of make your map that way, right? No vision though. Taking on Aquaman. Aquaman, so much more than just talking to fish. He can control water. This goes highly forgotten about kind of like Aquaman's canon. People think that he's literally just talking to fish and can swim faster than you. Not only can he do everything above water that he can do underwater with superhuman strength, when he gets to Earth, he still has all of that superhuman strength and durability. It's not like you're useless when you jump up. And then you can also control the tides. You are the son of Atlantis. So there you go.
So I really like the concept that you can be underwater because I think that's such a magical place. I really do think these two are on the bottom for me. Daredevil would just hate to be blind. I get it. You got incredible street.
You're not blind,
power,
though.
blah, blah, blah. Oh, in a sense you are, though. Come on, Cam. You're splitting hairs here.
Yeah, I think you're splitting hairs here.
You're splitting hairs here.
I just told you he has complete vision.
Complete vision with sonar. Right? Will I ever get to see the beautiful color of a rose in bloom? No. It'll all be that black and white sonar
You
bullshit,
do like roses
right?
in bloom. That's one thing I know about
I do.
you.
Yeah. So that's, like I said, pretty bottom of the list here, but I like to be able to see everything that's under the ocean. Strictly for that, I will take the Aqua guy.
Good choice, I think. Okay, second round matchups here. Intentionally did not pick Superman because he's kind of too many. So I thought that would be a little too easy. So we're moving on to our next matchup. We have the Flash taking on Wolverine.
Okay, right. We already gone through this. This one, we're still going on the live forever, see everyone that you love die several times over, versus the Flash, just move really fast, but have to eat all day. Gonna have to take the Wolf Man.
I love that takeaway. I don't want to travel between dimensions because I'll have to eat more.
I feel like it just complicates things so much if you're traveling. Like, live a simple life, right? If you're able to go at any time period ever, things are going to get fucked up, right? You're going to, every time you come back to the normal time, you're like, oh, that building wasn't there. It used to be a field.
But see, now,
that's probably the worst thing that could happen with the butterfly effect.
Now, you're assuming that the other yous in the other multiverses are not traveling to you. See, there would be no problem with you being the Flash. However, there's another Flash version of you who could be coming to you. I don't know, he could be a bad guy. There are infinite amounts of yous traveling within the Speed Force. But then you're going to have to take him down.
I
guess. Next matchup will be Batman and Aquaman.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. Aquaman, I feel like, can Aquaman travel on land?
Yeah, he has superhuman strength and speed on land.
Okay. So he's just good at the ocean.
He can do it all also underwater.
Oh, okay. Aquaman.
Okay. Which means our final matchup is between Wolverine and Aquaman.
So while I originally said this is a pretty low bracket here, once I realized you can actually travel on land, the fact that you can just go underwater, control the ocean, see everything that's under there without the complications of living forever, it makes it a pretty easy decision. Never seen the movie, heard it was terrible. Picking the Aquaman.
Wow, Aquaman running away with this bracket. Who knew it was so? Movie was good, by the way. Who knew that the Aquaman would go so far? Wow, and all the only responsibility you have is being the king of Atlantis. Because remember, Cam, you are assuming the identity of these people.
Oh, God,
right?
You really complicate
well,
things.
Well, that was
once
part
I'm
of the
done
point, because then it's just like, would you rather be fast or would you rather swim?
That's what I'm going off of.
Yeah, so Cam, you are the Aquaman. You are the king of Atlantis. You have a
I hardly swim, but I'm going with Aquaman.
You have a half brother who really wants to be king of Atlantis.
Is that Loki?
Nope. Some other guy, I forget his name, Ocean Master, I think. But yeah, no,
what a lame name.
You have people who are gonna want to fucking kill you. That's all we got.
As I always do.
Just like any one of these other things. Well, Cam, that was fantastic. You really did it.
Hey, Cam, what time is it?
I don't know. I'm doing clockless this year.
A clockless?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I like it. Well, I don't know if you noticed the sun's starting to fade here. It's almost time for the nightcap.
The Nightcap, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. All we need is 5 minutes to recap this week's episode. Maybe less than 5 minutes, but certainly not more than 5 minutes. We're going to need more than 5 minutes.
Cam, of course, we recap Knight Rider Season 1 every single week. We only have 5 minutes to do it, though. We only have 5 minutes to do it.
Let's get those timers set, everybody.
Folks at home, get your timers set.
Get your timers set. I'm not doing it unless you get a timer set here.
And so let's bring ourselves back to November 19th, 1982, a beautiful Friday night. What were you doing? Probably nothing, but what were your parents doing? That's the real question. We're bringing ourselves back to that night to bring you episode 9 of Knight Rider. Trust, don't rust. Cam, you will be kicking off.
All right, let me get this in.
This week's cap, and ready for it?
3, 2, 1, hit it. All right, we're going to open up at the Knight Museum of Technology, where we have two Goombas who are looking to break into this old building, which is going to be taken by the city, I believe, the next day. But they know the Knight name, and they plan to break into it and see if they can find some gold or jewelry, whatever they can really find to steal. Next up, we have Michael going to the museum because he gets the call saying, we got to go check this thing out to make sure that everything is good. Once the Goombas actually get into it by very quickly bypassing a security guard, they manage to break into the laboratory to find a very strange car that looks almost identical to Kit. The lights flashing, and they're terrified. Next thing you know, we're breaking in, and it turns out that this car, very Venom-esque, is Kit. But it's not Kit. It is the Knight automated roaming robot, also Car. The primary function of Car is not to preserve humans. It's the first model. It's to preserve itself. Maybe this will come up later on in the show. We'll find out. Cutscenes, the Goombas were not killed by Car. They're actually in Car, and they now are, Car is in debt to them because he brought them out of their cage, because he was locked away for so long, deactivated, as you must say. Their first order of business is to get them suited with whatever they want. Do they want to reproduce? Do they want food? Do they need shelter, water? This is all Car understands. It understands basic human needs. I say, okay, I guess some food would be good. So Car takes him over to the nearest shop. I guess it's a drive-through. And they try and order food, but the attendant is bizarrely aggressive with them, saying, what do you want? Hurry up. All right, you two idiots. I'm not putting up with it anymore. Car, not understanding human dynamics, takes this as a threat. Once he realizes that this machine who is talking could potentially kill them, He backs up the car and smashes through it. Smashes through the ordering window, thinking now he has protected these two Goombas who he is in charge of protecting their life. No one actually is hurt in this, and this is the first really instinct that we have a villain that we can kill, really. Now, Michael, who has now found out that we need to stop this car, is going, oh boy, I'm running low on time here. I forgot that I had 5 minutes. All right, Michael goes to the shop to find them and ends up, because he shows up with Kit, has the exact same car, and the police surround him and point guns at him. Okay, cut over to Cam.
Okay, we're back at HQ. Devin works with the cops. Don't worry. This is we're learning more about Car at this point, where Kit's bring up Xeox's paradox. Sorry, here it is. What happens when an irresistible force meets an immovable object? This isn't the last time we'll hear about this paradox. It could come up to us again at the end. Meanwhile, our bums and Car go on a heist spree, and they get better dressed with every single job that they do. So it's probably been a couple days now because they have to have had time to buy the clothes at one point. Back at headquarters, Bonnie reveals that a resonating laser, it's the only thing that can take out Car, and it has to be fired head on. And to boot, we only get 2 shots at doing this. Back at the bum warehouse, Car tells the bums that he needs certain upgrades and upkeep, and there's only one person who's qualified. This is the point where the top bum kind of goes aside and agrees. He reveals a plan to screw over literally the best thing that has ever happened to him. We'll see how that works out. Back at headquarters, we hear that Bonnie's been kidnapped, and then we get a great chase scene, of course, with Kit chasing Car. Michael Knight's on top of Car, driving through the highway towns, but eventually we do lose them. Back with Bonnie, and the bums are working on the car when Bonnie asks Car to turn on his camera, which not only activates his location, but also reveals the bums' plan of stealing gems from the museum. We do eventually break out Bonnie, but Car and the top bum, they break free and they head off to the museum. We're in a chase with Car, and we get our first laser strike, and we miss it. But that's okay, because we do have 2. We get our second shot, and whiff. Misses that one, too. So what we're going to do, Michael Knight decides that he's taking it into his own hands, and we're going to play chicken with Car to see who wins. They speed up, and at the very last second, Car gets out of the way, falls into the ocean, and explodes on impact. Yes, we get the big win. We're sipping on champagne, and I think it's time for Kit to get a good night's rest.
Boom. Killed it. All right. I went a little over time there, but I think we did well. I was looking at my clock, and I was like, 3 minutes, no problem. I'm like, oh, I only have 2.5. That's where I got a little mixed up there. It's the old switcheroo, as they say.
The old switcheroo, Cam. And you had, like,
Some
there
call it the
was
trolley
very
problem.
little content in that first half, too.
Oh, almost nothing.
And you somehow made it, you somehow just kind of kept extending it. It was fantastic.
Well,
It was a
I
great
kept
episode.
extending it because I'm like, I got time to fill here.
It was a great episode.
No, it was. I thought it was a good episode. It was much better than the last one.
Yeah, it was great. Hope Car comes back sometime.
Yeah,
He'll be back.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun if Car came back. All right, Cammy boy. Well, I think we're getting close to the top of the hour here, so I think it is time for a fan favorite. It's time to look at the world of news and figure out what's a headline and what is asinine.
Hey, headline or asinine. Headline or asinine.
This day and age, sometimes you can never tell. Cam, give me a headline.
Okay, I got one here for you. Python in India devours passed out drunk man.
So, from what I understand about pythons, is they typically strangle their prey, or maybe they don't. They are able to eat them whole, and if they find something that's easily digestible, I guess, or big enough, they can get their thick jaws around it. I feel bad for this man who got too drunk, and but it does seem like a realistic story, just a very unfortunate circumstance. I'm sure that right now there is a hunt for this python, because for some reason, once the animals wins, we all decide that we have to team up and kill it, regardless if we're on their territory or not. I'm going to call a headline on this one.
This is asinine. I made it up.
That's a shame. Well, I think that's pretty realistic, though.
I mean, that's what makes it a good That's what makes it a good Ohio.
There you go. All right, Cammy boy. China considers ban on teachers dating/having sex with students.
Considers. This is fantastic, Cam, because I don't know. This is often actually something that I have believed for many years, and a lot of people thought is controversial. I don't believe that teachers should be having sex with their students. I know there's a lot of people who do not side with me. They believe that teachers should be plowing, all the students, really. It should be, kind of like at the bottom of your report card where it would say you'd have like the satisfactory, good, and needs improvement section where it's like teamwork, good, manners, needs improvement, and then sex skills should be right there beside everything. Good, excellent, needs improvement. That place is backwards over there, though. I'm going to say it's asinine.
That is true. And I read this thinking, maybe it's some like adjournment to a law that they had or like an old law. No, there was no law against it. This is a proposal that they're putting forward that contains clauses on sexual harassment, including dormitory safety, camera surveillance, and reporting mechanisms, limiting predatory behavior, including groping or touching particular parts of the body, flirting, teasing, or sexually aggressive comments. Just really sad. Turns out the age of consent in China is 14 years of age and creates a lot of tension between students that are 14 years old and teachers who are apparently predators. I don't know how much indication they gave of how much this is happening. Surprise, surprise, China kind of keeps that under wraps. Overall, disgusting story, but I guess I'm glad they're doing something.
I love when something crazy happens in China, and then you're just like, yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah, you're like, I guess
they're fucked. They're fucked over there.
Yeah.
No, we're not perfect,
life.
But that's got to be fucked, right?
Yeah, it's a sad one.
Okay, Cam, I got another headline here for you. People are breeding digital horses and spending real money.
People are breeding digital horses and spending real money. So is this one of those is that what it's called, NFT?
Well, Cam, you have to paint the picture. All I have is the headline.
So I just know there's a thing that's going on. I'm hearing about it. It's like NFT. You can own the rights to something. And this might be one of those little trick shots, as they say. Confusing, but from what I can imagine, you're able to now buy digital plots of land and sell them off. So are digital horses the next step? I assume they're going for a low rate, but people are probably picking up on that cost, and those investments are going up only to crash once we realize it's all bullshit. Headline.
Cam, this is a headline here for you. Tamagotchis meet the Belmont Stakes in this latest crypto trend of non-fungible tokens. Fungible? Tokens. You're exactly right, though, Cam. This is by a company that's called Zrun, which allows not only digital horse ownership, but everything else that comes with owning a horse: racing, trading, and even breeding. The Australian-based company began in 2019 when it initially sold 4,400 digital horses with an average price of about $30, but it did rely heavily on the establishment of NFT technology along with the market to want to buy it. Cut to 2 years later, they have sold almost 11,000 horses, with another 8,000 bred within the game. Some horses are selling from $15,000, with the top horse even selling at $125,000. The horses are differentiated based on a number of factors. There are established breed types and bloodlines tracing back to the horses originally created for the game. Horses are entered into races by their own owners, and race history, race length, weather conditions, past successes are all taken into account when determining a winner for the race. Owners will pay an entry fee, but the races can pay out sometimes thousands of dollars. Think about it similar to like a virtual horse racing game that you would see in a casino. It kind of plays out like that. The owners believe this boom combines the thrill of the casino with the pride and the ownership that comes with owning a horse yourself. It lets the owners get involved and invested in what they're doing. And quite frankly, next step, there's what's next. The company is looking, will they add jockeys? Should they allow for horses to die eventually? All things that will come maybe in the future, but it seems like a big trend for now.
Well, this one's bound to fall flat on its face, but
see, everyone. I had another conversation about this whole NFT things with other people, and I don't understand why people think it'll fall flat on its face.
Well, we'll save that for next week.
I mean, okay. Okay, you can make a bunch of your points you want to hit there.
I'll prep my argument for it.
I mean, it's not really an argument. I just see. I don't understand how it's not. Okay, yeah.
Because I don't understand it. That's why. So when you don't understand things and you get a little older, you say, it's not going to work.
Right.
All right, Cam. U.S. killer requests death by firing squad in Nevada.
In Nevada. I have no clue when they stopped doing firing squads. Maybe, Cam. Maybe that'll be part of your kind of explanation here, if that is an actual headline. God. I mean, out of all the ways to go, firing squad would certainly be like the most theatric. Maybe this is a former, an actor or actress who doesn't want to go out sitting in a chair with an injection or with that, wet sponge on your head like you're in the Green Mile. No, you want to be kind of like strapped to a post and then just have a firing squad. This isn't just one dude going, 9 mil to the dome. No, this is probably like 14 people with semi-automatic machine guns just gunning you down. That would be
go ahead.
Sick. What are you going to say?
Oh, continue. I'll let you finish your thought.
Can you request? I mean, if you can request your final meal, you should be able to request how you want to die. I mean,
Agreed.
Within reason, right? Like, if you want to die by being thrown off a bridge, that might implicate other people. If you land on something or downriver or whatever. But hey, if you want to harmless, hey, just go to my backyard, just shoot me. I'm gonna die anyways. I'm gonna say that's a headline.
This is a headline for a man named Floyd, 45, out of Nevada, who a few years ago was convicted of shooting 4 people and seriously injuring another at a supermarket in Las Vegas in '99. He's finally up for the death penalty, and he doesn't want to go down the chair. He thinks it's cruel, it's unusual, and would rather go down by firing squad because it only takes 1 bullet. Fun fact about the firing squad, why it has been particularly used is because there's diffusion of responsibility. When you have 9 people shooting a gun, no one knows who killed them, right? No one can take the full blame on it. Little fun fact for you there. Now, it's a relatively rare phenomenon in the U.S. And Cam, I'll let you guess, when was the last time they used a firing squad for an execution in the States?
I'm going to say sometime in the 80s.
2010.
Wow.
It is allowed in 3 states, Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Utah, and has not been used since 2010, but this guy wants to bring it back. It is not legal in Nevada, but they're trying to plead for it. So stay tuned for that one.
And Cam, we were talking about this a couple months ago regarding death row. I think we just had a bunch of questions about death row. And this is why people are on death row for 42 years. Because they get to plea themselves multiple times. Now you need multiple circuits of judges in multiple jurisdictions allowing for this guy's plea to be killed in a different way. Death row might not be the solution that we think it is.
Well, that's one way to go, I'd say, is having 9 people pointing 9 mils at you.
That being said, though, If I was part of a firing squad, I'm taking credit for it every single time. The body falls down, I'd be like, that was me. That was my bullet. I did it. I'd add that to my kill.
Check the serial number.
Yeah, they actually had that American Sniper guy. He used to get a lot of work before he was in Iraq. He used to get a lot of work as a professional fire squadman. Fire squadman?
Fire squadman. I think that's the terminology. All right, hit it.
Dadgam. One more headline here for you. Man steals engagement ring from girlfriend to propose to his other girlfriend.
This is straight out of Florida if I've ever seen it. I'm going to go ahead and assume that the story here is they obviously got into a fighting match and they said, this relationship's over. You're cheating on me. He goes, fuck you, bitch. I'm my other girlfriend. Her name's Jessica. And then Mike decides to when she's sleeping, steal the ring off Jessica's finger. And she's like, this is my ring forever. You ain't getting shit. And then, basically steals it off her finger. Goes pros for the other one because she doesn't have any cash to buy the second one. Also, because is it his property? We'll never know. That's a debate for another day. But do I see this kind of shit happening in the great Americas? Certainly. I don't think this is the first time it's ever happened. Headline.
Cam, this is a headline from the Americas. You are exactly right. And the story is exactly what it sounds like. A man by the name of Joseph Davis, who used two pseudonyms with different girlfriends. He called himself Joe Brown with one of his girlfriends and would call himself Marcus Brown with his other girlfriend. So here's what happened. It might be a bit confusing, but stay with me. So one of the girlfriends suspected that this man was cheating and that he was engaged to another woman. So she goes on Facebook to do a little sleuthing, where she sees this woman with an engagement ring that is identical to the one that she had from a previous marriage. She's thinking to herself, that's my ring. She goes and checks her jewelry box. Not only is the wedding ring missing, other jewelry is missing, possibly amounting to a total of $6,200. When she realizes this, she immediately reaches out to this other woman on Facebook, says, hey, you're being two-timed. You're being played by this guy. The other woman, oh my God, I had no idea that you even existed. She returns some of the jewelry, at least the jewelry that she could find, back to the other girlfriend, because Mr. Davis apparently took off with the rest of it. He is currently on the run. Nobody knows where this guy is. He is wanted for, grand larceny, I believe it's called. So yeah, watch out there, ladies and gentlemen.
I know a guy who has a brother who has a family, left that family, moved to somewhere in the States, started another family, and that family has no idea that their family exists. And he has kids on both ends.
How?
He just never told them. They never come in contact. And then there was a funeral, and it was basically like, everybody keep this shit hush-hush. We're not blowing the secret out. Crazy.
That seems like so much work. And it's like anytime I watch you're clicking by, I like to watch episodes of Maury because they make me feel better about my own life. And anytime I'm watching an episode of Maury, I don't understand how these men have time to do all this infidelity.
It's a balancing act.
I mean,
all right, Cam.
I guess I don't see, it's like, God, there's not enough hours in the day to have another family.
Taco Bell will start reusing hot sauce packets.
Reusing hot sauce packets? I don't get how would they be used in the first place? Isn't it like a little packet? And then maybe it's like, if they find like like they're cleaning up someone's, used lunch on the tray and they find a packet. They're like, oh, I'm just going to put that back in the pile. Yeah, I wonder how this one is going to play out, because I don't think sauces, for the most part, don't have an expiry date on them. So, God, unless it's like expired hot sauce that they're like reusing for some reason. This sounds like a headline just because it's Taco Bell. But I'm going to say it's asinine.
This one's a headline, but it's a little bit of a bait and switch headline.
Yeah,
so they'll start using hot sauce.
Feels like a bait and switch.
It's hot sauce packets, not the hot sauce. So they're going to be finding a program to recycle them, melt them back down, then make new packets out of them.
Oh, that's nice.
Not the hot sauce itself. Now, it's actually a little bit of a better story than
now, how do they get the packets? Because aren't the packets like, you kind of put...
They haven't really detailed that, yeah. I'd imagine they're going to say, like, if, they go through so many there because it tastes like, dog food. So I think they're like, take the spice. I'd imagine what they're going to do is like, you got your spices, put them here once you're done with them. Don't throw them in the garbage.
I've had Taco Bell maybe once.
It's not great.
Maybe once. Right. But that was it. Well, that was our final headline. And I guess that was all the time that we have for the podcast this week. Thanks for listening, folks. Remember, you can rate, review, like, and subscribe because the podcast is all over the place. Thanks for getting us to that 1,000 downloads mark. And let's hope the next 1,000 downloads is a breeze.
Let's hope All right, buddy. Well, we'll catch up later. And folks, if you are short on time but have a lot of toast, a lightning bolt can toast 100,000 slices of bread in one shot. Stay tuned, folks, for next week. I'm Cam LeClaire, signing off.
Take care, folks.
Continuing tonight on Two C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your
Two C's in a pod, 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 two C's just like two C's in a pod, two C's because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.